A special thanks to Leah Purcell. Be sure to capture and Bell Shakespeare Company's King Lear.
We get closer to kick-off, but before that, the Indigenous All-Stars will give us their rendition of the traditional tribal war cry. But they'll be getting a bit of assistance. I've got to tell you, they'll be accompanied by the New Knuckle Yagira, or New Knuckle Yagara cultural dancers who provided with a lot of entertainment. Here it is now. Yeah, you might recall in 2008 the Dreamtime Aboriginal side that played against the Maoris. They did their rendition of it, and those spears and weapons, they got dangerously close to the throats of some of the Maori opponents. There's Israel, the big fella on one side of the ground, and Luke Bailey, of course, the co-captain of the Gold Coast in jumper number 18, Sam Thaiday from Yam Island.
They did seem a touch outnumbered there, the All-Stars from the NRL, Ray, and I wonder what's going through Sam Burgess's mind at the moment. Yet to play an NRL game. Young man has come all this way across to be involved in our game, and this must be very, very different.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
The first of its kind, a unique experience for us all. There is Sam Burgess. He played for Great Britain at 18 years of age. Testimony to the fact that he must be very good, and we saw that in the Four Nations. And Wendell Sailor's farewell game tonight. Wendell's been officially retired for 3 months, but this is it. Surely he will get across the line. Wendell over on that right side, marking up on Manu Vatuvei. Cameron Smith will start. 20-minute quarters.
You right, boys?
With the power play, the double play try. Innovation in this game tonight. There's the start of a much publicised and welcome rugby league event. And George Rose from Manly gets the first touch. A little bit of a juggle, and he's put away by Adam Blair. In combination there with Anthony Watmoe. That's Nathan Merritt, and they try to put him on the chair and throw him back over the try line. Again, Watmoe to the fore, playing in jumper number 11. Here's Carl Webb. He's rather disgusted that anybody would suggest it's only an exhibition game here tonight. I can assure you the first 3 tackles have had plenty of enthusiasm and venom in them. Marshall goes in to make that tackle with Matt Cooper. The tackle was on Greg Bird. It's the first touch of the ball he's had down here, down under, since 2008. Jonathan Thurston going through to Scott Prince. The clashes in the 6 and 7 shirt. Mouth-watering stuff. It's a penalty. It's a penalty going to the Indigenous.
Take his legs
tackle
out.
there.
No.
Or a tackle that was deemed dangerous. Sam Burgess
tackle, but don't.
going at the legs of Scott Prince.
No way, go. There you go, Ethan. I know you're tired, mate. Let's go, I've got that.
There's plenty of talk in the game so far with Anthony Watmoe challenging Shane Hayne, or in fact asking for more information. And Wayne Bennett, of course, the coach of the NRL All-Stars, as the Indigenous get the first real chance of the game. Into touch, no, he might have got rid of it in time, he did. And the ball comes down with the 18, which is Travis Waddell, playing it for Nathan Merritt, going into the acting half position, then through to Thurston, inside ball Rose. Wonderful to see him back in the game, George Rose, after that Awful broken leg. It's gone away onto Thurston. Behind one, gone away. Prince puts a kick in. Sailor will score. Wendell Sailor scores in his farewell appearance. Now he's got the didgeridoo going. He was never going to let us down. One of the game's great characters.
Well, you preempted it only moments ago. You said surely Wendell will get across in his last game. It didn't take long. Corey Patterson kept the football in play this side of the field and delighted the big man. He had a choice of passing the football there, Scott Prince, but he decided to put it on the boot, and that was not an easy pick up for Sailor, who straight away heads to play the didgeridoo in front of his teammates. We've been told that they are turning down the conversion, going for the double try. One player.
And you can't kick the ball.
Cameron, wait! No. Make sure you lock in. Fullback off.
And the defending fullback
Off,
drops
Kevin.
out. No Jared Hayne in the line.
So it's Rugby League's version of a power play.
Go.
Rose to play it. And across the ground goes Waddell. Links up with Thurston. It's gone across and it's gone out to Sailor on that right side again.
Incomplete, guys. Kick off.
Touching there with Jamie Soward, and that's the breakdown. You only get the one tackle on a power play. You've got to get it absolutely right. By the way, if the defensive side is penalised, the try is automatically awarded. So 4-0. Wendell Sailor getting the try that counts.
Well, I spoke to Gordon Tallis before the game, and he said that some of the set plays and little trick shots that the Indigenous boys have been practicing during the week will set this game alight. Well, we didn't have to wait long to see it. The first try with a lovely little double run around and decoy runners. Wendell Sailor out there on his own. Beautifully picked up with a short kick. Not much the defence could do about that. It was brilliant.
Neil Henry, the coach of the Indigenous side. TAB Sportsbet tell me they've held $500,000 on the game, and that equates to a Saturday night game or a Sunday afternoon game. So here's the restart from the boot of Cameron Smith. Weighted nicely down to Thurston, and now Carl Webb, his Cowboy teammate, will be packing down with Willie Mason and company in the strong-looking Cowboy side this year. His Merritt busy. Ricky Walford made an 87 Aboriginal team, an honour roll team. Ricky, the former St George player. Nathan, a nephew of Rick Walford. So here's Sam Thaiday getting a touch and trying to straighten it up off an inside ball. Sideline with Andrew Johns.
Yeah, number 8 for the Indigenous All-Stars. George Rose has got a fancy haircut out there. He's actually got his name there on the left-hand side, Rose. Snuck in the sheds before the game. He was really fired up. Keep an eye on him.
Jared gets his first touch. Hayne comes back and he takes a buffeting. Lost the ball, did he? Now he got to play the ball in according to the referee. So Israel Folau comes in from the Minto Juniors. They haven't played together at the high level, though, since about 2007.
Jared Hayne is wearing the brightest set of boots I think I've ever seen on a footballer. Iridescent, what's that, iridescent yellow or? Wow, they stand out.
Luke Bailey, there's the boots.
It's hard to work out the colour because you can't look at them too long.
Watmo it is who plays it. Smith, the wave for Lockyer. Lockyer pairing up with Benji Marshall. They haven't really had a chance to do too much in the game other than defend. And the kick from Lockyer goes over the dead ball, so it's 20-metre restart for the Indigenous.
See, it's a problem every time Jared Hayne does something like that, because now when I get home, my son's going to want yellow boots for the weekend game. They just stick to one colour.
Problems for Gus already. Thaiday. We've got the answer for Gus tonight, though. We've got the video referee mic'd, Tim Mander, so instead of Gus and I arguing, he can talk to Tim himself if he wants to complain. Now for Thurston. Preston hasn't stopped bouncing around back there, anxious to get involved. Waddell in 18 from Canberra. 10 first-grade games last year. Had a very good Toyota Cup season before that. Vartuve. Manu. Big, strong in the... Oh, he takes the tackle. And it was a good tackle from Waddell. And Corey Patterson's shoulder also caused some problems. Here's Jared Hayne. Ball out the back. Play on. Picked up by Scott Prince. He's gone down to the 25-metre point. He's tackled just outside 20. Put down by his co-captain, Luke Bailey. Now George Rose with the petals on his temples. Now Greg Bird looking back and looking for support. Ferguson wanted it on his outside. Again from Waddell. 5'8" with it. Short. And that's Carl Webb who's got the ball. And they're so very close to the line again. They lead 4-0. Prince goes back, second man. Thurston dummy and pulled down. A metre from the line. The opening of the NRL season, you might say. Waddell for Prince. Here's that kick of his again. It stacks on the mill. Bailey. Bailey saves for the NRL. Just outside the try line, as you saw down at the northern end. Skill Park packed to capacity. The ground record crowd here is something like 27,250. And they must give that a nudge tonight. You chose the teams, by the way, and now tonight you've got the opportunity to select the player of the game. Now to do so, you SMS your name, your favourite team, and man of the match to 0457 843 042. The winner will be awarded the inaugural Preston Campbell Medal. So get busy again, you pick the teams, now pick the man of the match. 0457 843 042. I'll give it to you a few times during the match. Merritt, almost on halfway. The 21ers Bow champion. He was raised on a settlement in Kempsey before he came to La Perouse. He was the clubman of 2008 at Souths for his work in the charities area. Peter Sterling medal winner in 2004. Here's Thurston starting something, and Patterson, he had to be put down. He was by Michael Jennings. Right side play, Thurston, Prince, Thurston again. They're loving it up, they, Thurston and Prince. Rocky and Benji, they haven't had a chance really to respond. The last. And the kick from Prince is high. Sailors underneath it. They all let it bounce, and down it comes to Benji. Pass goes away to Hayde. Player of the year internationally last year, replacing Billy Slater. Not a bad replacement.
It's interesting you talk about the combination there of Jonathan Thurston and Scott Prince. Still some doubt as to whether or not Darren Lockyer will continue with representative football this year. Origin around the corner. I'm sure if Scott Prince had a good game tonight with Jonathan Thurston, it wouldn't do his stocks any harm whatsoever from a future dance standpoint with Queensland.
Oh, Watmo got a ball away, and Jennings thought he had it. Just dropped out. A little bit of spite there after the event.
Peter, it's only early. I mean, it's the first game of the season, but gee, some of these players look bigger and stronger than I remember them.
Look, I'm a little bit surprised at how intense it is. And I don't want to say that I was coming here expecting a glorified trial, but they're ripping in. Sam Burgess has been really good. Corey Patterson, outstanding start. He had some problems off the field last year for the Newcastle Knights. Rick Stone will be very happy with the opening of the big number 11 out there for the Indigenous side. But I think we say that every year, don't we, Gus? They look better athletes. They are bigger. They are faster. The training they're doing has them primed to go from the word go.
They play just outside the 30-metre line.
That's Eileen Gordon out there now in 15 as dart from dummy half from Waddell.
So Preston goes to dummy half. And this is Greg Bird. Played over 20 games for the Catalan last year. Again from Waddell. Prince was on the blind. He's come open for Thurston to step and step again. But he doesn't outstep Cameron Smith. Waddell for Prince, floating through the air. That's a knock on. Put down by the 12. Adam Blair's tackle was a beauty. Ball carrier was Leroy Lars.
got a couple of good coaches for a clash like this tonight too, like Wayne Bennett. No more experience than him than bringing talented players together in a short space of time and gelling them together, both in attack and defence. And Neil Henry, for the Indigenous side, has been a part of the Queensland campaign for a number of seasons. So these short preparations with star players and getting to work as a team, there's an art to it, and we've got two of the best on display tonight.
So Lockyer feeding the scrum. Folau in the 5/8 position, slices through. He's outside the 30. It's a foot race. Chasing is Ferguson. Folau has been run down by Blake Ferguson. Cleaned up by Preston Campbell. Clean break by Israel. Brilliant run by Ferguson to round him up. Now Marshall. He's lost it. Rake down.
Two in the tackle.
Two in the tackle. It's been described as a rake. A steal. Penalty goes to the NRL.
Well, Israel Folau got out to a big lead there, but Blake Ferguson rounded him up. It was a great chase and a try saver. He just went straight through them, Big Izzy. Look at this, he's off and gone. And Blake Ferguson dug in, didn't give up, kept churning away, and comes up with a nice tackle over the top. They're on the attack, Rabbits.
So, in front of the uprights, 5 metres away from the line. Here's Lockyer. Blair ran the decoy. Hayne did the evasive work. Hayne for the line. They hold him up. They roll him over. Did he get it down?
Tackle two, held up.
Held up, says Shane Hayne. Brilliant refereeing. Lovely stepping and absolutely fantastic defence.
Have a look at the effort here from Sam Thaiday. Jared Hayne is a big man. He was certain to score. And the number 13 for the Indigenous team, Sam Thaiday, wrestles him, rolls him, and keeps the football up. It is a superb one-on-one tackle when the ball carrier was certain to score.
It was a lovely passage of play. Attack and defence nullified each other. Referee was good. Lockyer short. Oh! Picked up and dumped on the ground is David Shillington. Ball played now 7 metres out. It's gone back to be 12 out with Lockyer floating it, getting it away wide there. And it's gone on to Matt Cooper. Cooper looks for the line, but he's pulled down by Bird. Luke O'Donnell standing out wide, giving the final ball. Marshall through for Lockyer. Then from Shillington. Here's Hayne again. He won't go away. Puts the kick in. Goes to ground. Dived on. And Hayne is going to say play on. 6 more tackles. Played by Shillington. Cameron Smith goes to the centre of the ground. He throws dummies. He goes wide. Marshall's lost the ball. And it's been dived on by Ferguson. Knock-on has been ordered, though.
Yeah, good footy. And some really stoic defence there from the Indigenous side. Jared Hayne, we ran out of superlatives last year. He looks as though he's just picked up where he left off. A couple of touches he's had, you can feel the crowd rise. He's just got that ability to be balanced, change direction, stutter and stammer, and make people miss. Not to mention excite everyone.
So Scott Prince has got the feed. This will give us a chance as they come off their own line, the Indigenous, to go to Wally Lewis on the sideline. Yes, Walt?
And I've got to say, there wouldn't be too many people that would believe that this game would revolve around defence more than attack. We expected it to be a wide open attacking affair. The ball thrown around a scoreline of about 48, 46, something like that. But the defence that has been on show here shows exactly how much these two teams want to control the outcome of this match. Fantastic defence.
Good offload by Bird, then for Saylor, now for Ferguson. Gee, they had some work down that right side. Ferguson particularly, his involvement is so high. Gordon, Prince, and put down there by Leroy Lars it was. Now Anthony Tupou, who won selection in the side in front of Barrett and Cavell and Douglas.
That's Kurt Bidley out there now, dropped into the fullback position for Jared Hayne. And we will hear from Neil Henry at quarter time, Wayne Bennett at half time.
Oh, another shoulder attempt by Merritt. He's got the ball back after Jennings. Must have been seeing stars. Bo Champion was the first tackler in.
Well, we're behind glass, 40 metres from the play, and I heard the impact there when Michael Jennings hit the two defenders, and then he threw the pass, almost an intercept basically, to Nathan Merritt. As Leroy last man hand.
Give me that sternum protector, will you, Gus, out of the kick bag. Here it is again. Merritt got a shoulder on him, and then he got the ball coming back to him. Here's Prince. Dropped it down to Bird. Bird away now for the 21 or the 20 Ferguson. The kick goes out on the full, I fancy. No, his rule has gone out on the bounce.
He was a little bit unlucky there, Blake Ferguson. As you point out, heavily involved. I think he beat Israel Folau all ends up at the start of that run. And then he decided to kick the football right at the beginning of the tackle count. But if the kick had stayed in the field of play, he'd have led the chase. Look at this move on Folau. Back on the inside. Comes to the fullback, Gidley. Unfortunately, the kick straight off the side of the boot and bounced in the field of play.
He's a good story, Blake Ferguson. He's come through bigger tests than most of us ever will. He encountered being removed by authorities from his mum when he's just 13. So, you know, you talk about the stolen generations. Blake Ferguson can talk about it firsthand. And tonight, he's having a blinder of a game. His involvement rate would probably be as high as the dummy halves almost.
If you want to see a player score in the minimum of space, give the ball to Blake Ferguson. A couple of freakish efforts for the Sharks last year as the penalty goes against the Indigenous team. And Cameron Smith will find touch 40 metres out.
And with the scoreline at 4-0, Pride will be starting barking away at these NRL All-Star players. They'll be thinking we're not on the board yet. We've had a couple of opportunities. It's time we post inside.
Gidley, he's got rid of two, got the ball away to Bailey. And Bailey is tackled 10 metres out from the line.
Oh, thank goodness.
So now it's with Cameron Smith. Here is Benji Marshall. Now Luke O'Donnell. And he's going to be upended and put away by Yelene Gordon.
I'll apologise early to Darren Lockyer, who played the football, not Luke Bailey.
Smith it is. Sorry, Pete. It's gone to Lockyer now. Then it's gone away to Michael Jennings. And Jennings is 10 metres out. Gets the ball away to Tupou. Here's Lockyer.
He took the pressure off. I've done it before.
Cameron Smith now. Into dummy half. To the middle of the ground. Good. Kirk Gidley. And able to get it away. Blair with a no-look pass. Shillington gets it on. Back to Tupou. How did I finish up with it? But he's got it back. Lockie has been tackled on suspicion by Waddell. It's all happening here. It's been beautifully anticipated, the kick by Campbell. And he's tackled.
Yeah, he's caught it in goal on the full. He ran it out. Referee Hayne was right on the spot. This is brilliant football.
Got in goal.
You got to remember, people, this is the first game of the season. None of these players have had a trial. Here's a fancy restart from the 20-metre, looking to find touch. But it's been picked up very quickly there.
Josh Morris
is on the field.
I'll tell you what, here's Morris now, sprinting across the ground and getting it back to the 40-metre line. Jennings the dummy half, only one marker there.
The footy's good, isn't it?
It's fantastic. And we're coming up to quarter time. Neil Henry will get some words from him. And we'll go to Wayne Bennett at half-time. That's if it's possible, but both the coaches are mic'd for the occasion. Cooper puts it down. That should be advantage, but there wasn't a great deal of urgency in picking it up.
This is a demonstration tonight why some players weren't prepared to bring a niggle into this game with the long campaigns they have in front of them. Now, if you came into this game carrying any kind of injury, you could pay a very heavy penalty for that. As Wayne Bennett looks on his charges, he's a huge fan of the concept. And the players are backing up his thoughts on it in this first 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. One play. Hang on. Yeah, don't go early out there, Matt. Stay in there. Wait for the whistle. Right, head down. Time up.
So from Thurston to Campbell to Prince, quarter-time siren. There's Campbell again. Morris tried to swing him out over the touchline. The kick has gone down to Jennings. There might still be some danger here for the Indigenous. No, that came forward off the hands of O'Donnell, but the referee said it didn't. It went backwards. Now it's Benji Marshall. He gets it out now to Darren Lockyer. Inside he goes. The ball finishes up with Blair. Blair gets the ball away to Marshall. Marshall gets it to Cameron Smith, and eventually it goes to ground. We have reached quarter time with some fabulous football. Exciting attack, but it's been fantastic defence. Don't forget, immediately following the game, all the action, excitement and colour of the Winter Olympics opening ceremony. That's all on your home of the Olympic Games, Channel 9, 4-0 at quarter time in favour of the Indigenous All-Stars.
Sowie's on. Hey, boys. Hey, scrambling defence has been tremendous. You just got to keep it up. Make sure we maintain our shape in our defensive line. But in yardage, we're 2-1 out. We need a little block to a sweep around the ruck. Halves need to play. Beatson. Let's set the Beatson up and get it out on the edges. They're compressed around the ruck. Okay, we've got to get it outside. Are we right with that?
Well, there you are. We came back with some of the quarter-time address from Coach Neil Henry, coach of the Indigenous All-Stars, who lead, I think quite surprisingly, to the minds of those people in the commentary box anyway, just 4 points to 0. And that came with a lovely kick, deft kick across from Prince, and it was swooped upon by Wendell Saylor to get the mandatory try, the obligatory try.
Just in those few words there from Neil Henry, you can see how much work has been put in a short space of time. They've got their own set of calls, the names for each plays, and they're actually targeting players in the opposition. So they've come into this game with a plan, the Indigenous players, and that's what Neil Henry has brought to the Queensland side over the last few years with their dominance. A very good reader of play and a great instigator of game plans.
Ben Jones is on, a dummy half for the Indigenous. Young rooster. Came from Orange, went to Coonabarabran, played some football at Redcliffe. And there he is in the dummy half role at the moment. And here's Jamie Soward putting that left foot kick, driving it down the ground. It's a beautiful looking kick. And oh, Jared Hayne, my goodness, he knows how to flirt with that sideline. But he was able to rake it back in for Kurt Gidley to miss the shoulder of Bo Champion. Look at Jared, he went out, he came back in. Like a fiddler's elbow.
Well, that's unbelievable presence of mind. He knows that if the ball goes out, it's a 40-20 off the boot of Jamie Soward. At one stage, it looked certain that he was going to touch the football while he was out of the field of play. But he worked it beautifully. And now the NRL All-Stars have made a mistake. I don't think the referee will have too much joy trying to understand Sam Burgess in that situation. Short and sharp.
I'll tell you one thing you won't misunderstand, and that's his fire and his power. He's a very passionate sort of player, and for one so young, extremely confident. I can remember that Four Nations series in England, where he just announced himself to the rugby league world like no player I've seen at international level before, for one so young.
Played there. Just outside the 20-metre line. Here's Merritt down the sideline. I think he's made it. Klein is the referee in charge at the moment. They're checking grounding. Nathan Merritt.
Well, he gets smashed just before the line. The ball goes loose. The replay will obviously show whether he's maintained control of the football to score. Lovely work from Ty Williams. Got the ball to him very quickly. Kurt Gidley hits him. Adam Blair comes across. The ball loose. It's lost from the grasp. No try.
No, his elbow comes in contact with the ground, and that's just enough to shake it loose. He tried. I really thought he'd made a great effort. But before he gets his hand back on the ball, I'm pretty confident it comes loose from the grasp. When the elbow hits the ground there and then it rolls away, then he gets his hand on it. Let's have a look. I think this is the angle that shows he actually loses it. Elbow hits the ground and the ball rolls out, and now he puts his hand on it.
Yeah, valiant effort there from Merritt. He's been one of the stars tonight, heavily involved on this left flank. And good defence, desperate defence from Gidley and Blair. We come back to the 20-metre restart.
You would have heard there's no try, just making it official. You would have heard Neil Henry compliment the effort of this man, Nathan Merritt. He was very happy with what he did in the first 20 minutes.
And so when we come back to the 20-metre, it shows that he lost the ball over the line.
And Joel Thompson is out there now in 19 from the Canberra club.
Robbie Farah's on the field playing hooker for the NRL All-Stars. Cameron Smith getting a break.
This is Burgess. And Watmo has broken the tackle. And he They have to jump on board, but it's too late because it's gone to Finch. He's inside the 20. He turns the ball in for Gidley, and Gidley is going to be held by Campbell and Gordon. 2 metres away from the try line, and the penalty goes to the
right away.
NRL All-Stars. So Watmo decides he'll try and do a barge over. That's Luke Phillips out there tonight. He's in charge of the game with Ashley Klein at this point in time. Got a premiership, didn't he, in the early...
Yes, he did. Played in 2 grand finals for the Roosters. One very courageously with an injury that ended up ending his career.
Burgess, 3 metres out from the line. As Farah passes, he's in 17, Robbie. Now it's out to Benji Marshall. And Marshall, well swatted out there by Beau Champion. Here's Cooper. He's close to the line, Matt Cooper. He'll be a part of that opening match of the season on the Friday night, Parramatta and St George. Oh, Finch, he lost the ball. He might have got a kick on it before it hit the ground, but he's ordered knock on.
There he is, Luke Phillips, former Rooster fullback, who's progressing very rapidly through the refereeing ranks. I thought Brett Finch ran very fast onto this ball to be in such close proximity to the trot. He actually sprinted about 8 metres to sprint onto that. Probably just take his time a little bit when close to the line like that would be better. Andrew Johns on the sideline with Cameron Smith.
Thanks, guys, with Cameron Smith there. How's the pace of the game?
Mate, it's quick for the first game of the year. It's like mate, it's pretty much like we're starting the premiership season. But I think it's been a great game so far. The boys are really enjoying it, and hopefully we can get a 4-pointer soon.
And the concept, you like the concept to start the season?
Oh, mate, it's great. It's it's had its critics, but all the boys had a great week. We've had a lot of good time with the community. Obviously, the turnout tonight's magnificent. So hopefully, there's many more to come.
Cheers. Good luck. Cheers.
Just outside the 30-metre line. Ball played by Yelene Gordon. Looks like Bird. It's not easy to keep up with them. 7-man interchange, and you can make changes any time. Unlimited, ball loose, and Fide dives on it. And it was put down by Leroy Lars. They still put it to you that Brett Finch did kick that ball before it hit the ground. And that may well have been a tough call that the opposition got the feed. Tonight you have the chance to purchase a part of history in a special gesture, with all proceeds going to the NRL's Indigenous mentoring program. The Indigenous All-Stars will be auctioning their signed jerseys, as well as Jonathan Thurston and Jamie Soward's specially designed headgear. You can bid simply by going to NRLauctions.com. NRLauctions.com. All part of the Harvey Norman All-Stars Challenge.
I had a look at the specially made headgears. They're magnificent. You really should go online and have a look at that.
Sid Domick it is that designed them. Now Brett Finch looking for Adam Blair. Stormer to Stormer. Gidley again. And Friday makes the tackle, and Burgess looked to knock on, but the referee said no. Farah, the crowd believed it was a knock on. The kick into the in goal, and has justice been done? Beau Champion raking it over the dead ball line.
Well, the pressure is mounting here for both sides. The Indigenous team being called upon to make a lot of goal line defence, and very bravely they're holding out. And for the NRL All-Stars, you heard Cameron Smith, he said, I hope we get a 4-pointer soon. And I said earlier, you know, pride starts to take a little bit of place here. And the NRL All-Star players are saying, we've got to get across this line.
And Scott Prince with his line dropout going 50. There's Burgess taking it back to the 30-metre line, and they meet him and put him away. Jones and Leroy Lars. Farah onto Bailey, and Bailey is taken by Bird and rolled over. So they'll be playing with each other this year at the Titans. Here's Finch, short for Gidley. Gidley outside. Morris sees the line, but he's pulled down 5 short. Watmo thought about going himself. Finch is with it. Outside edge. It's a chance for the All-Stars. No, it's been cleaned up by Champion in the field of play.
He's done some really good things on that side of the field. Beau Champion made some good decisions in defence when to come in. And that time he reacted when the bounce didn't favour his inside men.
Carl Webb.
Need some possession, the Indigenous side. They've done a lot of tackling of late.
Live betting right throughout the match, by the way, on 133390. That's the TAB Sportsbet live betting line, 133390. The NRL side started off at $1.60 and the Indigenous at $2.30. So maybe the prices are fluctuating, maybe the knobs are twiddling. Falau, who made that slicing burst from about the same part of the field in the first quarter to be run down by Ferguson.
Jared Hayne is back on the field, playing on the right wing. That man who just got hit very nicely in the tackle. Kurt Gidley stays at fullback, and he's hit by Corey Patterson, Newcastle teammate. And straight away, Kurt's hand has gone up to the bench. Could this be a pivotal moment in the Newcastle Knights season?
Patterson, he didn't care who had the football. He hit him with everything. Now the kick into the in goal, and that's Yao Yi back there with it. He's got problems, and they're going to put him away. And Kurt Gidley has been hammered by Corey Patterson and grabbed at the groin area.
It's a wonderful shot. He's fallen awkwardly, and the thing that worries you is how quickly he put his hand up to the bench to say, I'm no good.
I think it's only a cork, or I'm hoping it's only a cork to his left thigh, which, you know, you feel like you've been hit by a sledgehammer, but I don't think it's anything structural or we're looking at muscle tears there. I think it's just a real impact injury.
Bailey on the kick return.
Let's hope so anyway. That'll be best case scenario.
Watmo, keen for work. 30-metre line, Indigenous end. Fowler in 17. Wrestled over by Patterson, but it's a penalty to the NRL All-Stars.
They're trying to play advantage there, the referee, but Patterson was offside. Quick restart there from Anthony Watmo, takes it just 5 metres out. Surely they must score. They've had all the football and all the pressure.
Farah goes on, Marshall away, and it's taken by Anthony Tupou. Held underneath by Champion, got it away to Morris. Morris is taken down by Yao Yi. 5 metres out. They're throwing everything at them, but they still haven't been over the line successfully. Now Falau, a metre from the line. And here is Robbie Farah with a try to be a barge over try, but it didn't succeed. So big Israel is in there. Now Marshall, now Finch. Players running both sides of him, and he's rolled over and put away there by Thompson in 19, Bird in 16. Last tackle now, intercepted by Campbell. Preston's away, outside the 30, but they're going to round him up. Hayne went after him. Preston's looking around. Where are you? Where the hell are you, he might say.
I don't think he wanted to go back for a video replay to see if he was onside.
So now with Ty Williams. I thought it was Lara Bingle. Where the bloody hell are you? 20 metres out from the NRL line. It's gone away now and through from Soward. It's found Scott Prince in the middle of the ground. He went to, oh, that's got to be high and Champion from Marshall.
Well, the crowd is absolutely humming at this Indigenous team defence. They've been on their goal line for an age. They refused to buckle, and now Preston Campbell's put them on the attack.
Leroy Lars. Good year last year. In Origin. Now Carl Webb playing it for Ben Jones. That's Joel Thompson in 19. And he's tackled a couple of metres away from the line. 3 of them involved. And this must be the first time in the second quarter that they've really been down. Ben Jones, a dive over try. Ben Jones has dived over. So the Indigenous side have scored their second try. It's 8-0. Now will they choose the power play again?
Well, that's great stuff. And it's a reward for the defence at the other end of the field that Bill was talking about. Ben Jones feinted to throw the ball to the right and dived across to the left. Robbie Farah tried it at the other end only moments ago. He was denied on the line. Jones picked it up, kept down low. That was the problem for the NRL All-Stars. They were up too high. Ben Jones, in between players, down low.
First time I ever saw him play Ben Jones, I thought this kid will make a hooker. And in his time in grade at the moment, I think he's played every position, but not sure that he's been schooled there. But for me, he was always destined to be a dummy half, and I was interested in comments during the week by Neil Henry, who suggested he slotted in very quickly to that role. There's Preston Campbell coming up with the intercept on his line. Now he's off into the clear. He's probably going to be run down, but I guess he figured if we go back for a video referee, they're going to see that I might have jumped a little early, Rabbits. I might have been offside. So he said, well, I can't afford that. We can't score now. We'll wait a couple of tackles. Smart little play.
I reckon the fact they've gone for the conversion here is just to give the side a break. If they hadn't have done so much defence and didn't need to get some oxygen in, they might have gone for the extra 2 points through the double try, but Jonathan Thurston now aims it up and pilots it through.
There's another 2 points to the Indigenous side. They lead 10-0. We'll take a break and come back.
Cameron!
Back at Skill Park, the Harvey Norman All-Stars Challenge, and the scoreboard shows the Indigenous team with a try for this fellow to open the account, Wendell Saylor, and then a try for Ben Jones, who's the dummy half now. A conversion by John Thurston, and the Indigenous lead 10-0. Jones, the try scorer, the kid from Orange, who I told you earlier, he played some football at Redcliffe and prior to that at Coonabarabran. Takes the spot for the Roosters, and here's Campbell trying to slice through.
Well, he's just a real little footballer, and kids like that probably sometimes don't get big enough to play in their chosen position, but in this day and age, there he goes.
Soward, and he's got an overlap created, but the pass is ill-directed. Sorry, Phil.
No, but in any time you like. Just back to Ben Jones, you know, sometimes a kid like Ben Jones, when he gets into the top grade, he's just not big enough to play in the types of positions like centre and 5'8" and half-back where he's up there. But you put his nose down at dummy half where he can use his skill and his football nous, and suddenly it's a different commodity, and that takes time and patience from the coaching staff. This performance here tonight will give him a lot of confidence. Jamie Soward, outstanding season last year, slicing through there. The pass was misdirected, but just on the stroke of half-time, I think everyone's a little tired.
Well, Jamie Soward, of course, was the Dally M 5'8" of the year, and he broke a 4-year stranglehold that Nathan Hindmarsh had on the Probyn Summons medal for most popular player. It's played by Burgess, and now Farrell! Jared Hayne. Well, that was brave by Hayne. He knew he was in the sights. He didn't take his eyes off the ball. A little bit of a jostle up with Joel Thompson. Finch quickly to the right side for Hartevay. And the beast is put down.
The Indigenous boys are all over them at the moment. They're really pumped up, coming forward in numbers, hitting hard.
Well, they probably didn't need any motivation, Phil. Just the chance to be involved in this historic game, filled with emotion and pride, filled with recognition. That bounces. I was going to say it's an awful bounce for the Indigenous side, but it's gone over the sideline. Now, what's the story with Kurt Gidley, Andrew?
Yeah, just in the sheds. They're looking at the knee, doing all sorts of tests on it. They'll know more tomorrow with scans, but Kurt says it wasn't the tackle. He stepped off it here. So he actually hurt the knee before Corey Patterson tackles him. I think all of Newcastle and I think all of Rugby League got their fingers crossed for Kurt Gidley.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about a wealth of fullbacks that Wayne Bennett had. He had Billy Slater, Jared Hayne and Kurt Gidley. And one of them pulled out before the game, and now another is injured. But, you know, he could have done that playing just a simple trial match.
Oh, absolutely. Injuries are part of the game. But I I didn't see anything in the impact there that you would have to worry about, but it's interesting, Joey points out, he heard it before the impact. He stepped off the knee and felt something go, so that's a problem. That could be a real problem.
Don't forget, you can name your man of the match. You SMS your name and your favourite team to the man of the match 0457 843 042, and the winner will be awarded the inaugural Preston Campbell medal here tonight as man of the match. You chose the teams, now you choose the man of the match. Season begins Friday, March 12, and at 7:30 that night you'll see the Eels versus the Dragons. Staying with us for a moment, here's Jennings, evasive, right foot step twice, and then left foot step twice. And he's pulled down 12 away.
Yeah, lovely. That was beautiful movement.
So Finch on the blind side, Anthony Tupou coming back towards the centre, and is it coming now? Tupou on the second tackle, 5 metres from the line, away from Farah to Finch again, and here's Hayne looking forward, losing it. Well, what online defence have they provided tonight? We heard their coach at quarter time talk about their scramble. That was an example of it. Online defence scramble, brilliant.
And Ray, it's hard to single anyone out when your team is defending like this, but that man there in the number 7, Jonathan Thurston, from the opening whistle in attack and defence, he has been absolutely everywhere. If you're looking for one man's inspiration in an inspirational team performance, Jonathan Thurston is the one that's doing it for the Indigenous All-Stars. He's been absolutely superb.
That's Ty Williams. Just going back to that opening night of our season, the NRL season, the New South Wales viewers will see the Eels up against the Dragons live from Parramatta. And Queensland, you people will see Broncos versus Cowboys live from Suncorp Stadium. 2 cracking matches. Broncos and Cowboys should fill Suncorp. Here's Hayne, and a lot of enthusiasm from Yao Yi. He just missed him the first time, got him the second. And Hayne gets up slowly. Now it's come away to Finch. And Jones hits him with a bell ringer of a tackle. And there's the halftime siren. So at halftime, the Indigenous All-Stars are heading for the break with a 10-0 lead. Stay with us after the break. Peter Sterling, Andrew Johns. We'll run you through all the highlights of the first half, and there's been plenty. And Phil Gould will be joined by 2 very special guests. This is the Harvey Norman Rugby League All-Stars, live on your home of the Winter Olympic Games. The opening ceremony coming up after the footy. You're watching Channel 9.
Here with Wayne Bennett. Wayne, what'd you say to him at half time?
Oh, look, we just got our game a bit mixed up at the moment. We're going in sets, we're just spreading the ball too early, you know, sort of trying to take them through the ruck, and down the other end we're coming down through the ruck and making good yards and good advantage, you know, so we just got to get that mix right again.
And your thought on the concept?
Oh, no, I took the job because I believed in the concept. And tonight's proved it's a great entertaining game, lots of good football being played. Ball's a bit slippery out there because of the humidity. Well, we expected that in the first game of the season, but everything else is spot on.
Cheers. Thanks for your time, mate. Cheers.
Wayne Bennett there talking with Andrew Johns, and the players making their way out now for the 3rd quarter of the game. My memory flooding back when I talk of quarters in rugby league to my first television experience in rugby league with the Amco Cup. I remember the quarter-time huddles well. In fact, we dropped the microphone in on Johnny King, the coach of Western Division in 1974.
Bad move.
It was a bad move. We got out of there very, very quickly, but they went on to win it. That was lovely. But 4-quarter football, it was very popular back in those days.
And that would have been a day game, wouldn't it? There wouldn't have been electricity then.
No, we played under candlelight.
Now, I did go into the sheds and had a chat with Kurt Gidley, and not looking to alarm anybody, but he's very concerned. Just under the knee, I think Andrew might have pointed it out, the injury didn't happen with the impact from Corey Patterson. It was actually when he stepped off the foot and he felt something go just under the knee. Fingers crossed that one of the best young players in the game, and New South Wales captain last season, Kurt Gidley, will be okay.
So we restart off the boot of Jonathan Thurston. It's 10-0 in favour of the team running left-right, the Indigenous, and here's Benji Marshall, who had a mandatory selection into the game together with Adam Blair as captain and vice-captain of New Zealand.
Yeah, Ron, I think he's got to get a little more involved. From what I saw in the first half, he sort of locked himself to this left-hand half of the field, and I'm not sure that suits Benji Marshall. He's one that likes to roam around and get his hands on the ball. See more of that in the second half.
There's Watmo running an inside line. Off the pass from Cameron Smith, who goes now to Brett Finch. And he puts it very high. Torpedo punt taken by Yayi. Playing the ball on his own 20-metre line. And this is Blake Ferguson, who had that awesome start to the game. Liddell is back on at dummy half. George Rose is back on with the name imprinted, if you like, on his scalp through the locks. The big manly forward. Now Carl Webb confronted by Luke Bailey, and Cameron Smith right on halfway. Centre ground in the Harvey Norman sign. And then for Soward. His kick gets a little deflection, and Hayne tries to take it on the boots. And skips his way outside the 20, and they bend him over. He's just been riled a little bit, Hayne. Has been tested in the tackles a couple of times, and he hasn't liked it.
I've said it before, if he's not 4 or 5 kilos heavier than last year, he is so big.
Short ball from Smith finding Watmo, who's not to ground yet, but he gave the pass to George Rose. And big Rose it is who's pulled down 38 metres away from the NRL All-Stars line for Trevor Waddell to take it to the 30 now. Pulled down by Finch and Burgess, big Englishman. Played in that trial the other day at Redfern. And Johnny Lang only gave him a brief amount of time on the park, and more of an opportunity to have a smell of the roses here tonight. Thaiday will play it. It's gone now to Thurston. Inside ball, Joel Thompson. Now they're 9 from the line. Luke Phillips with his right arm up. And it goes on to Sam Thaiday, a first receiver, through to Thurston. The ball is loose. Ty Williams puts a bit of cover there for Nathan Merritt, who runs away from Brett Finch. Swerves around Luke Bailey, gives the ball away. Jonathan Thurston's with it. Tried to fend away, went to ground. Didn't pass from the ground as the ruling. Now it's gone to Jamie Soward. He puts it on the boot and running back urgently for Lau. Yes, he puts a shadow across it before Greg Bird.
Wow. You cannot take your eyes off them for a moment. They bob around and step around.
Those markets you would have seen at half-time with Peter. TAB Sportsbet have done a real turnaround with betting. And if anybody's sitting back thinking the All-Stars might run home down the hill and overpower them, I don't think that's going to happen. Here they are again, the NRL All-Stars, with Cameron Smith leading the way.
I reckon half-time came at a bad time for the Indigenous side. They were way on top.
Hayne getting a ball away nicely to Jennings, who swivels and steps and still continues on and gets the ball away. That's beautiful. Hayne puts in a kick. It's gone to ground. It's come down. Is that Preston with the ball?
That was a brilliant catch. I cannot believe Jared Hayne got himself in a position to chip kick that. And Preston Campbell, the smallest player on the field who has the ball now, and is getting...
Oh, he's hammered into the ground by Burgess. They shaped at each other, Ferguson and Burgess. Burgess has gone after him and put a tackle on him in behind the play. Ferguson played it though.
I don't know how Preston Campbell caught that ball. Here's the hit. Look at that. Big man on little man. Get off him. He's the smallest bloke on the field.
Buried alive, little Preston. And again he's hit by Matt Cooper. 5 metres his own side of halfway. And Thurston it is. Got it away. Tackled by Bailey as he did. Soward puts a kick in. And so Folau folds in behind with Hayne. And Hayne is 5 metres out from his uprights. To the 10, he throws a dummy to Israel.
It's an excellent catch by Preston Kemp at the other end of the field, but what build-up from Michael Jennings as well. Stayed alive, big 3 tackles to be able to get the right arm free and pop a pass up. That's the one that Jared Hayne caught and put the little chip over from. And Benji throws a dummy, it's not taken.
Let's go down to the sideline with Andrew Johns and Wally Lewis.
Yeah, just checked on Kurt Gidley again after the bit of cool down. He said he's getting pain in behind the knee, but they'll know more tomorrow with scans. So once again, fingers crossed. Over to you, Wally.
And a little bit of concern for the All-Stars with Darren Lockyer.
It's 4.
Looks like there's a serious injury out on the footy field.
Travis Waddell, Wall. Travis Waddell.
Yeah, concussion, I think, has put his head in the wrong place for a tackle there and hasn't come out well. But to continue the story on Darren Lockyer, has a bit of a problem with his elbow. He did it in the first quarter of the game and just seemed to hang around for a little while, but they seem to suggest at the moment that he will take no further part in the game.
The trainer there's Darren Lockyer on the sideline. Trainer just telling young Waddell out here to keep still. They don't like the players to move around until they're confirmed there's absolutely nothing wrong in the neck area.
While they're treating Travis Waddell, we'll just take a break and come back live to Skill Park in just a moment. Fair enough. So changes being made to the Indigenous team. Travis Waddell being lifted from the ground. He was knocked out in the tackle. He put his head in the wrong place, but he's got movement and he's listening to the trainer. Meantime, changes made. Learn, earn, legend. You might be wondering what that's all about. It's all about teaching the kids to stay at school and learn, then find a job or a career to enable them to live their dreams, and through living those dreams, become a legend for the next generation to follow. And that is a large part of the spirit involved for the Indigenous taking part here tonight. And appointed as ambassador for the Learn, Earn, Legend during the week was Scotty Prince. And he was very touched by that. And Travis is being aided from the ground.
Luke Bailey hits it up, and the head just in the wrong place there, not to the side of the body. Took the upper thigh of Luke Bailey, which isn't a good practice. He's a smaller version of Neville Costigan, isn't he?
It's hard for those little fellas with those head-on tackles on the big men. You know, I'm a big advocate of not bending down in that area, getting your head involved.
This is Burgess. Waddell is led up the tunnel. And Finch it is that gets quite a big kick in, and Campbell responds and brings it back towards the 30-metre line.
Well, Benji Marshall's got to come up with something here, because at the moment, whilst they look dangerous and getting good scoring positions, the NRL All-Stars have not found an answer to the Indigenous Stars' defence.
That's Gordon. Jones, who got the second try, now rose and driving to the 40-metre line. Jones looking to Thurston on the blind side. He's with it. He goes, well, he dummied there and got it away eventually to Ty Williams. The ball rolling in a touch. About 3 or 4 metres out from the corner post as Wayne Bennett prepares to make changes. And there's not much time left to register your vote for the Preston Campbell medal winner. To do so, SMS your name, your favourite team, and the player you think has been or will be the best on 0457 843 042. Voting closes at the 70th minute of this game.
Can he win his own medal?
Heads in.
I would imagine.
It's been very good.
I would imagine. Folau will be out there for the Broncos in the opening match of the year for Queensland viewers. On March 12 from Suncorp Stadium, here's Cameron, just outside the 30-metre line. That's the match that Israel will be playing his part in. This is Luke O'Donnell. Ball towed through and is soured. It's still a chance. In fact, the referee has ordered a knock-on. Unbeknownst to Blake Ferguson, again squeezing himself over in a narrow corridor, but the knock-on has been ruled by Luke Phillips.
And former first-grade footballer Luke Phillips standing his ground on the decision. A little bit of dissension from the All-Stars boys. Here's Soward and Big Manu, who's the long and the short of it. Yep, Soward got a hand to that, no doubt. And Luke Phillips was right on the spot. And as much as they argued, the more he smiled and said, no, it's a scrum, and the All-Stars have got the ball.
Hold, mate.
So on the 10-metre line, Jared Hayne runs at Sam Fide and Jonathan Thurston. Now for Burgess. And he's reeled his way out of the tackle of Carl Webb.
Do you like him, Rabbits?
So far, what I've seen is likeable, but we saw plenty of him in the Four Nations. There was never any doubt that he's a great buy for South Sydney. And there's Blair putting it down. Gordon comes up with the ball. The advantage rule applies. And eventually, Yelene Gordon has lost the ball, but it'll be a penalty to the Indigenous. Joey on the sideline. Apparently, you've got Big Dell with you.
Yeah, I've got Big Dell. Wendell, talk us through that first try. We haven't got long either.
No, Scotty Prince, he called it. Manu came up, and I was a bit lucky.
And what about the intensity out in the field? Talk me through that.
Oh, mate, the crowd's been awesome, and everyone, it's a great vibe here. You know, the All-Stars are having a crack, the Indigenous boys are having a crack, and, you know, what a great spectacle so far.
And you love the concept?
I love the concept. Hopefully it's here to stay. I know Kirk Italy might be in a bit of trouble, but I think everyone here is enjoying it.
Well, great career, Del. Well done.
Thanks, mate. I'm not finished yet.
Play by Gordon, Jones, Thurston, dummied one, gave it the second time to Webb. Out the back for Jones, a bit of handball. Knocked down by Cameron Smith. Yes. And the ball knocked on.
Accidental offside.
Accidental offside is the call from Phillips.
Yeah, you mentioned Sam Burgess, Ray. I think he's been close to, well, he's been one of the best out there, no doubt. And the big men have been so good. Sam Fide had a storming start to this game. George Rose has been very good. And Sam Burgess has been tremendous in this elite company.
Are we allowed to register a vote on the mobile phone? I'm registering a vote now.
Who are you voting for?
Well, I'm not telling you, I'm just registering a vote now. I don't care what happens between now and full time. One bloke's been outstanding.
I think I know exactly who you're talking about. Does he play for the Cowboys?
He's been outstanding.
Does he play for the Cowboys?
Commentate the game.
Here's Bailey to the 40-metre line. Down the middle, ball away before going to ground. Scooped up by Shillington, given on to O'Donnell, back to Marshall. Tackle from behind by Champion. So Cameron Smith then to the left side. O'Donnell and Cooper. Soward was right up in his face. And then on the 30-metre line, with Bo Champion making the tackle on Cooper. Marshall away. It went too long. It's going to Blair. He unloads. They're getting desperate. The NRL All-Stars to ground. That'll be play on for Ty Williams. And 6 more tackles for the Indigenous on the halfway line. Here's Ferguson. And he's taken to ground by Tupou. No love lost there between teammates. Here's Jones. And no love lost there either between former teammates, I guess. Leroy Lars with the ball on the 40-metre line.
They'll be looking for a knockout blow here, the Indigenous boys. One more try just might do it for them.
Webb, with players hanging off him. Finch, Tupou, Smith. 5 tackles gone. As it goes through with Thurston. And Shillington didn't come up with a great deal of purpose. The ball has gone away to Vartuve. And he's out to the 20-metre line. It's like stepping from the big fellow. He's pulled down 29 metres away from his own line. It was a good effort. Now for O'Donnell. Almost to the 40-metre line. Gordon it is that makes the tackle in 15. Smith goes around the man who played the ball to find Israel. And Folau is tackled.
Wayne Bennett has brought Brent Finch off. Rory Farrer's out there now. Cameron Smith stays. And Benji Marshall. They're the three, the creative players.
Jennings in, away, he's through, and he's away again. Oh, he might have got accidentally tripped from Marshall coming in from behind. Now it's on to Cameron Smith, passes on the 10. Tupou shovels it down. It's picked up by Smith, puts a left foot toe on it. They'll get a try. Josh Morris has scored on the right side.
Well, that was great work from Cameron Smith. Just have a look at how quickly he sums up the situation. They go to the right-hand side. Adam Blair, I believe, is the person who gets hit but keeps the ball alive. It rolls back to Cameron Smith, and in a split second, he has a look at what the best option is, and it's the kick. Ball comes back straight into the arms of Cameron Smith. He looks and sees that Josh Morris has got room to run into, and the kick is inch perfect.
Peter, the amount of tries we see like this in rugby league nowadays, it must be so instinctive to them. They must do a lot of that at training. It must be kick and chase, kick and chase, kick and chase.
I think it's a reflection of just how great the defences are these days. You've got to work out ways to unlock it, and the best way on a lot of occasions is the kick. So I think every support player realises that they've got to be awake to one going through.
Hello, we've got an old Parramatta wall here, Peter. How do they do this, mate?
Oh, it brings back very bad memories. Concussion. Let's have a look at this one's more successful.
Look out.
Jeff Robinson and Peter Sterling. Now here they go. The wall is up. And the player's going every way. It's Folau getting it away. Nate Miles put it on the toe.
Not allowed to kick it. Not allowed to kick it, Nate.
And you're not allowed to kick the ball.
Back in the 80s.
Right. We'll take a break and come back in a moment.
During the dummy time play, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one tackle and no kicks allowed. Score remains Indigenous All-Stars 10, NRL All-Stars 4.
So we come back to Skilled Park, the match being played out in front of a capacity crowd. Here's the wall, Pete. Take us through it.
Yeah, not that successful. They throw the pass, and I believe that they were trying to sell to the opposition that the man about second in the wall was going to run it, and they weren't to know that. Oh, this is too deep.
Out on the full penalty back at the middle of the ground.
Well, I think the problem with the wall was that it didn't turn into a flying wedge. They should have combined the two. They should have all turned and just charged as a scrum towards the line. Crowd would have loved it.
Peter, after you got slammed by Jeff Robinson in the wall, did the coach ever say, we'll try that again next week, or did you outvote him?
No, I just didn't turn up for it, and no one's ever asked Jeff Robinson if he got hurt out of it all. I'm tending to think that probably wasn't the case, but...
I saw him at midnight that night, but there was a scratch on him.
It was okay.
Farrell to Tupou. Good hands from Tupou. Able to get it away. Play on. Cameron Smith. He takes it down the right side. Morris is outside him, but the defence swarming over him. Smith will play it back for Jennings. Now for Farrer. Farrer dummies to Blair. Dummies then to Shillington. Goes himself, Robbie Farrer. He'll make it. Has he got it down? Oh, he's held up. That is absolutely magnificent from Yao Yi. Oh, can you believe it? Look at this kid.
No way. He was going to score for sure. That is brilliant.
Well, we've seen two miraculous saves, haven't we? We come back though. Ball being played by Blair. This is their last. The kick came off the toes of the Indigenous. Scooped up by Yao Yi. And he's tackled 12 metres out from the line.
Well, it's been a big 60 seconds for him, hasn't it?
So this is champion.
Some of the players on the NRL All-Stars have got much bigger scrapbooks than some of the boys in the Indigenous team, but no one has let them down tonight, have they? Some youngsters have really stood up here to some high-quality opposition.
Watno about to come back into the game. For all the information on becoming a 2010 NRL club member, SMS your team to 0429 sign up. That translates to 0429 744 687. That's how you get the information to become an NRL club member. And those numbers are rising rapidly, which is great for the game. I think South Sydney lead in that membership drive at the moment. Marshall finding Morris, who came in off the right side to work up the middle. Farah has really injected some life. Here's Jennings. Thurston had him. He slipped out of it. He's over the 30. He's still going. Michael Jennings, the flare from Penrith. Tupou knocks on. And it's picked up back there by Ty Williams.
Well, Michael Jennings has come up with about 3 or 4 of those siding runs tonight where he shows electric pace. But every time he goes through, there's plenty of Indigenous jerseys scrambling back to save the day. This is an unbelievably courageous performance by them.
Andrew sideline.
Yeah, we spoke about Jared Home, but Michael Jennings outstanding. I think the Penrith Panthers halves, Luke Wilson and Wayne Graham, if you're watching, here's the key to Jennings. Give him early ball. Looks so dangerous.
He's only just making his way back into the defensive line. He stayed down after that last run. As Jonathan Thurston tries a little chip. Play on.
What's gone wrong for them? Badly wrong for them. Marshall's into space. They're trying hard. Yeah again, but Marshall's too quick. Marshall scores for the NRL All-Stars. It's 10-8. Will they take the kick from this wide angle?
Go for the double try.
Only a minute to go to three-quarter time. They could go in front if they do go for the double try. The little kick from Jonathan Thurston, you could see that there was space out wide that he was aiming for, but it took a deflection off the defence, bounced into the arms of Anthony Tupou, and he just turned it back on the inside to Benji Marshall. Too much speed. And he scores out wide, and I believe they're taking the ball over to the middle.
Yep, they're going to go for the power play, the double try. A try here will actually put them in front.
But don't give it to Nate. Don't give it to Miles here because he'll put the kick in. I must point out that you can't kick.
Put another wall up, come on.
You can't kick the ball in this power play.
So we'll have a 2-point gap at half-time. Either this scoreline of 10-8, or if the NRL All-Stars can conjure a try here in one play, they will lead 12-10.
Play the ball!
What version of the wall is this, Peter?
This is a split wall.
It hasn't got many pickets in it, I'll give you the tip.
This is the confused wall where not many people know where they're supposed to be.
This is the wall that's taking a long time to build. We can't afford the labour at this pace.
There's some shoddy workmanship out there at the moment.
You're quite right. Now, away it goes from Farah to Jennings out the back, intercepted by Williams, and that's the end of it. That's the breakdown. The defensive team cannot score. So, as we familiarise ourselves with all of the rules, don't forget immediately following this game, all the action, excitement and colour from the Winter Olympics opening ceremony. It's all on your home of the Olympic Games, with the cricket, the Olympics and the football. This is Channel 9.
Have you ever wondered how...
Boys, the game is still about field position. We've still got to get down that end of the field. We've got to get to our kick and we've got to get down there. The dummy halves are still the option. We need to get out of dummy half, beat the markers, straighten up. The beats can still be on after that. But we need to be available. Push forward, push up. We're going to have more push around the ball.
There's no shortage of enthusiasm there in the voices and the faces there of Scott Prince particularly, and Jonathan Thurston. Crowd is 26,687. Now that's only fallen about 600 short of Skill Park ground record crowd. I know it's only a young stadium, but that's a magnificent effort. I was talking to a cab driver today. He's brought people here who've flown up from Canberra and It's not just the Gold Coast that's filled this stadium. People have come a long way to watch this and acknowledge the recognition of the Indigenous people in the game that this game has provided.
You know, every cab I get in on the Gold Coast, the bloke says, I had Ray Warren in this cab. Every one of them. You must go a lot of places by cab.
There's a lot of blokes with red face and grey hair.
I love listening to those coach.
Yeah, I do too.
Players. And it was interesting, Scott Prince at the end there said, look, pick out a player in the opposition defence, we'll go at him 3 or 4 times, we'll burn him, and we'll get a penalty. So we watched that for the last quarter where they go at one player.
Tupou's with the ball. One of you two guys probably should be explaining what Neil Henry's talking about. We've got to clear the ruck, we've got to play the ball down their end of the park. We've got to get to our kick, do this, do that, and there'll still be a Beatson on. So here's Bailey. Now Burgess. Burgess straightens, flops it out the back. There's Finch. Inside 30, he kicks, and Jennings is away! Jennings flies in to score! Panther power! Michael Jennings!
Absolutely brilliant. And not only the kick from Finch and the speed of Jennings, but the work of Burgess, who really bends the Indigenous side back and then comes out with a lovely pass out the back. Oh my God, he's good. I really, really like this kid. Look at that. Foot step down out the back, nice and gently for Finch. And then a beautifully weighted kick. There it is again, Peter. The kick for the try.
Yeah, it didn't matter that the pass from Burgess hit the ground. It was just important to keep the second phase play going, and Brett Finch did beautifully well. That man, Michael Jennings, had actually pushed out onto the flank and pushed Morris back onto his inside. And we come centre field now, 15 metres out in front of the posts to try and extend the lead. The first time the NRL All-Stars have been in front all game. They lead by 2. They want to make that 4.
Fullback has to drop out of the line, so it's 13 on 12. Campbell's out of the line. He's out behind the dead ball line. Can't play. So Farah, mousetrap, long mousetrap, big mouse. Now Smith for Falau, back and across for Watmo. Where are they going? They'll go forward eventually, I hope. Here's Burgess, and now back for Bailey. They've lost 10.5 metres so far. Now Falau, Finch puts it down. Referee says knock on, and he's right, you know.
They keep going, they'll be back in Tweed Heads.
We'll take a break before we get to Tweed Heads.
Right, John.
Back live at Still Park. Jonathan Thurston kicking off. 63 minutes of the game gone. 7 minutes to vote for your man of the match, the Preston Campbell medal winner as man of the match. There's the number, 0457 843 042. You've only got 6.5 minutes to lodge your vote.
Here he goes again, this kid Burgess. I see the footwork and the way he bounces up and wants to be with the ball the next ruck. He's a good one. You South Sydney fans are very, very lucky.
Farah's kick bouncing off the point for Nathan Merritt, running over towards his captain. Campbell with it. Morris came up quickly and they put the little fellow down. So Merritt goes away to Sailor. He told us earlier the career wasn't over yet.
Yeah, they're starting to surge a little bit here, aren't they, the NRL All-Stars? They're making their winning run and really trying to apply some pressure here to the Indigenous side, who need to get out of their own end of the field. That was the message from Neil Henry, and so far they haven't been able to do it.
Good offload by Greg Bird. Wendell Sailor plays it. Jones away. Leroy Glass hit hard in the tackle by Miles. Or was it Shillington? It was the latter. Now for Rose. It's gone away then from Thurston through Prince and finding Friday and finding out wide Ferguson. There's another flyer. Did well to stay in the field of play. They put 2 shots on him, but Ferguson keeps in the field of play. Friday. Prince short, Thurston ahead, chip kick. May have got a check in running, puts another kick on it. It's still play on. It's a mole through the legs from Ferguson. Well, he was running his luck at the fullest. He tried to through the legs to Merritt, and it didn't come off.
Well, it nearly hit Brad Fittler. The man out there in the blue shirt and the white hat, I'm pretty sure, is Brad Fittler. And as the play comes downfield, Matt Cooper came across.
And on the last tackle, they tried to run the football. Jonathan Thurston took the little kick through. They were claiming it was knocked on by the opposition. The referee said no, might have hit them, but it wasn't knocked on. There's one.
Watmo putting it down. 45 away from their line, and the feed will go to the Indigenous, who trail by 2.
Yeah, he wasn't alert there, Anthony Watmo. When you're playing with that young man from Cronulla, Anthony Tupou, you've got to be ready for the ball all the time, and look as though he can't possibly get the ball away, and all of a sudden it comes out, hits in the chest. Look, he's not ready for it. The ball comes out. It was an easy one, and he spills it cold. He's brilliant at the offload, Tupou.
So scrum win to the Indigenous. It's gone from Prince away to Soward, so they've got 3 very talented backs out there at the moment, playing side by side, and add to them this fellow Campbell, and you've really got an attacking flavour. But they've gone into touch over there under the tackle of Jennings.
He was trying desperately, Preston Campbell, to get Wendell Saylor away down that left-hand side. There looked to be a little bit of space. But when the tackle's made, it's a good one from the NRL All-Stars from Morris, because he keeps the momentum in the tackle. No 2 motion, so no penalty. And just the second tackle. It's a big opportunity missed.
Well, Thurston is going to feed the scrum here. They've ruled...
As you come, got to get in.
That it came
Head
off
in, Anthony.
an All-Stars player.
This way, John.
Campbell had in fact passed the ball before he went into touch. That's interesting.
So through it comes to Prince after Thurston, and it goes on to Ferguson. Jennings has him covered, takes the ball off him. I thought it was one-on-one. It was. Now it's away for O'Donnell. That looks forward. Watmo's head went rocking back under the tackle there of Friday and Rose. The ball loose, and O'Donnell dives on it. It will go back for the lost ball, and the scrum will see the Indigenous get the feed.
Yeah, crunch time now for the Indigenous side. This is their best opportunity in quite some time. In quite some time. Preston Campbell, Jonathan Thurston, Jamie Soward will be the architects of what happens in the next 6 tackles. Scotty Prince talking it up out there at second receiver from the scrum.
So here they go. Webb taking it up towards the 10-metre line, and he's able to get it away. He thrusts it down, and
he yelled held.
Hayne has called held and said, we'll pack it down.
Yeah, it's one of those different ones again we talk about fairly consistently. There's not much you can do about it. You heard him, the referee, yell out held on a couple of occasions. Carl Webb, and we'll say that I didn't hear him. Goes into the defence.
See, where it's simultaneous like that, I think the referee should be entitled to say, look, give the ball back to him, play it there. Go back and retain possession. A loss of possession is too big a penalty for that.
And I think all players would appreciate that. Even the defensive team would understand that. Oh, good tackle down low. Was that Preston Soward?
Yes, it is. It's the captain, Captain Campbell. And here's Luke O'Donnell. He's a wonderful player, this fellow, Luke O'Donnell. Now Nate Miles, Friday Night Football starts it all for 2010. Eels and Dragons at Parramatta Stadium. What an end they had in 2009. And we bring them to you on the screen for New South Wales on the first night. And for Queensland, equally mouth-watering, Broncos up against Cowboys from Suncorp. So Cameron Smith not finding the line. Wendell Saylor away from his 20-metre line. 15, a 20-metre run from Wendell. Beat Burgess at the conclusion of the run.
They need a really good six here, the Indigenous team. They've been given some opportunities with the football. The last 2 times they've handed it over early in the tackle count. Get to the end of this, put some pressure on with a kick. They need possession, they need to be at this end of the field. Friday trying to lift his side. Good run.
The NRL hopeful of being able to give a minimum of $1.5 million to the 16 clubs. As a result of tonight, Thurston's pass onto the chest of Thompson goes to ground. And of course those clubs have all submitted plans what they'll be able to do with the money, with emphasis on providing more funds to Indigenous programs and community programs. So 1.5 minimum. Looking at this crowd, there's a very good reason to think that it's going to get well over $1.5 million to be divided equally, I would imagine, between the 16 clubs. And you can help, of course, on that NRL auctions line. The jumpers, the Indigenous jumpers, autographed by the players, and the headgear worn by Thurston and Sal. On NRLauctions.com, you can help raise more money by doing that.
And we've got time to do so. It'll close that first Friday night game. I just showed you the 2 matches you'll see on the 9 network. There's NRL All-Stars again, Sam Burgess. Lovely offload. Finds Robbie Farah inside to Folau.
Burgess has got such awareness on his feet. He's able to make people miss and half tackle him, and then he's got the size to get the ball away. He's a real handful, this kid.
Finch taken down by Bird and Thurston. And now for Burgess, operating up the middle, got it away. Farah pushes on, Bailey around the back, picked up by Marshall. Puts a kick in behind. Flying down the left is Vartuve, but it's gone in touch and goal.
Oh, clever. Wendell Saylor knows the importance here of the ball going dead. He actually dummies the take and gets congratulations from a couple of his players. It looked as though he was going to have to play at it. He dummied that he was going to get it, but in the end he let it go and earned his side possession and 20 metres.
Fair bit of experience in that play, wasn't there?
12-10 in favour of the NRL All-Stars, who started the game as $1.60 or $1.55 favourites. Betting fluctuated though. Here's Bird. 35 away from the line. They need it, and they need it probably now with just over 7 to go. Prince holding it back. He's found Yao Yi, knows how to score a try, loses the ball, tossed into the middle of the ground by Vartuve. He's with the ball now. And taken to ground by Thompson.
Yeah, no advantage, will come back. Altuve throwing the ball centre field, regathered, lost ground, so obviously no advantage. But again, a dangerous situation there. All came to naught for the Indigenous team. Greg Bird was called into the sideline. Pretty good performance from him too tonight. Yeah, good gap, hole running there. The ball coming loose and the pass thrown and then retrieved by the Warrior.
Well, I think this has been tremendous, Rabbits. I couldn't have imagined a better spectacle, a more fierce competition at this stage of the season from these great players. They've really turned it on for the crowd and you people at home watching in your lounge rooms.
Lost the football but reeled back for Lau.
Morris. Good work by Josh. Got his first national jumper in the Four Nations. Twin brother Brett, of course, joining that rare club of twins to play for Australia. Farah. Shillington. Friday goes low. Patterson involved in the tackle. People will probably, as Peter pointed out, and we should say it again, here's Thurston robbing the ball, getting it away, and here's Jamie Soward. He's so fast. Oh, look at this, speed versus speed. Jennings can't get him. Soward scores. The Indigenous go to the lead again.
Great work down that far side. Jonathan Thurston scooping on the lost ball and then positioned Jamie Soward absolutely beautifully. Drew in 2 defenders, got one around the back. And there's a couple of players in this NRL competition who you will not see run down from behind. He is one. And the man chasing him is another in Michael Jennings. Ball coming loose there. Now Thurston, he's got a couple of players defensively in front of him. He gets round the back of Morris. And Jamie Soward, he is a flyer. Jennings is a flyer. And the Indigenous side back in front.
That's brilliant from Thurston. Firstly, the pick-up. Then to quickly advance upfield and then sum up the situation with two defenders in front of him to take them both out and get his man away. He could have passed early. He could have looked to draw and pass. Instead, he takes the collision, raises the right arm around the back of the defender. Yes, Jamie, we see it. It's on option online, NRL.com. The handwork on these headgears has got to be seen to believe. Who did it? Sid Domick, was it?
Yep.
I think he's only just finished playing too. Sid, he was a former Brisbane Bronco player and he's played a lot of years in England.
Just get that, if we can, that lower screen graphic up. That headgear and that jumper, just for example, are up for auction on that, NRLauctions.com. It closes on 12th of March, and you can contribute to raise as much money as we can through this tonight for equal distribution to the clubs to further foster Indigenous programs and community programs.
Just check on that website too, because Sam Ayu, player manager, tells me there's a couple of scholarships up for grabs donated by Jonathan Thurston and Jamie Soward. That's a great kick from Jonathan Thurston.
Well, how appropriate is that for Thurston to lay on the try for another goal kicker of high quality, who's got high quality speed, and then it goes back to Jonathan Thurston to bring it around and find the goal.
There was a little bit of hijinks the last time the NRL All-Star scored with the through-the-leg pass back and the Statue of Liberty play. A short restart here is going to backfire against them. But when it came down to winning this game of football, the Indigenous team, they didn't want to go for the extra try. They wanted to extend it by 2 off Jonathan Thurston boot to put themselves a try in front. And now the clock is very much in their favour.
Is it too late to vote? Did I get my vote in?
You've missed it by about 7 minutes, Gus.
Scott Prince taking the penalty, finding the line, 40 metres out from the NRL All-Stars line. There's Ben Jones, Scott Prince, Shalene Gordon to the 20-metre line. Your confidence did a little bit of a gypsy doodle when he cross-kicked and provided that opportunity for try. Here is Preston Campbell. That was punched out really by the tackler. Then it's gone from Leroy Lars back to Jonathan Thurston. He's away from Matt Cooper. That's a good trick. Got the ball on to Wendell Saylor. He puts a big fend up in the face again of Matt Cooper, and Saylor tries to drag the entire team down the ground. He's tackled on the 10-metre line. He was like a prime mover. Now Thompson is picked up and banged into the ground by O'Donnell and Watmo. Jones to Thurston, and then it's gone into touch off the Algiers pass in a desperate attempt to get it to Wendell.
Yeah, a little bit adventurous, but they're at the right end of the field. Might have liked to have kept that one and just rolled it into the in goal and wound this game out, but NRL All-Stars have got 90 metres after this scrum win to travel. Well, if it finds its mark, Wendell scores in the corner.
Well, it was a bit good for Wendell. I don't think he thought in his wildest dreams he would get that pass away, but it was nearly perfect had Wendell been ready for it.
So what if the NRL All-Stars run the length of the field and put it over the line? Is there golden point in this, chaps? No, thank you. Here's a chance for it to happen. No, Folau tackled from behind by Gordon. Now it's Finch. He's got players on his outside. He gets it to Morris. Morris gets it back on the inside, but he can't take it, Jennings. And so the Indigenous come back with Prince.
Brilliant scrambling defence again. The NRL All-Stars with their last-ditch effort look very promising. Oh, look at that.
Well, Gordon is down. Burgess and Shillington, they look like they might have had a head collision, but I think Gordon's got his head in the middle of it all. So Shane Hayne has called a halt because there's some concern for Yolene Gordon. The heads were bouncing around. Firstly,
look at this Burgess.
And then Burgess bounces off and hits Shillington. And poor old Yleen has gone down as the ham in the sandwich.
He's been the best. Oh, Sam Burgess, he's had an outstanding night. I just did get the update. There's no golden point in this game.
He's walked out of England and he's come here to the Gold Coast in 30-degree heat with supposedly the best players in the world, and he's just announced himself again.
Yagi.
Wow, what a player. I don't like putting big raps on people, particularly this young.
Oh! Leroy Glass. It came down the deflection to Jones.
But he is something special. I cannot get over what I see here.
Thurston, Prince stepping up his left foot, getting it away. Corey Patterson is there. Will he pass? Yes, he does. It's back to George Rose, and Rose to the ground he goes. Last tackle now for the Indigenous. Shot for drop goal from the boot of Scott Prince. Goes wide, but they still pursue. Oh, Thompson has gone within an ace of scoring a try.
Well, it would have been a freakish one. The field goal not well hit by Scott Prince. But time is going to beat them. Joel Thompson, he only had to control that football and he scores the final points.
10 seconds left, Peter. We've got one play left in the game. It'll be a 20-metre tap. Well, there's 8 seconds left. One play left in the game.
16-12 in favour of the Indigenous brothers. Long pass for Morris, looking for a miracle. Burgess, there's the hooter, puts a kick in, might have taken a late tackle. Hainel penalised, yes. It's not over yet, put the fat lady back.
Well, they're celebrating on the sideline, the Indigenous team, but it's not over.
We've got security guards and everything on the field. They're trying to get a couple of the public who invaded the pitch so they can restart the game.
So we're going to see a kick for touch. There'll be one more play for the NRL All-Stars. They should be around the 25-30 metre mark. And then we'll see some passes strung together. Probably not Sam Burgess chipping at the end, but they didn't miss him after he kicked.
Welcome to Australia, Sam.
Well,
he's taken it all.
Oh, he's been brilliant. Cameron Smith finds touch 30 metres out. You've got to think they tap it and put up the Hail Mary bomb. Their set plays on the power plays haven't looked all that convincing, so I think they've got to go to the air with the Hail Mary cross-field kick. Cameron Smith now lining up to get as much territory as he can.
So he finds the line at the junction of the 30. So the hooter has sounded. And Smith ready to put this play together. Finch ran the ball and got it to Wadmouth, but it's gone to ground. And Yao Yi, he's not held. He's outside the 30-metre line. He'll take it to ground. It's over. This inaugural Indigenous versus NRL All-Stars game has seen the outsiders, the Indigenous, win by 16 points to 12. 3 tries apiece. Wonderful promotion. Recognition of the contribution of the Indigenous. They played with pride, emotion and spirit. And the NRL All-Stars realised, I would guess, by about 10 minutes into the game, that this was not going to be a walk in the park.
No, it's credible. The players' performances tonight have made this incredible promotion, and there's no doubt that it will become an annual event. The players take a bow tonight. Congratulations, you've done yourselves proud. And the crowd here have loved every second of it.